Nice. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. How are you? I hope you're doing fantastic. What's Good Denver is a weekly celebration of culture and discovery and fun stuff to do in Denver for kids, couples, singles, and old timers. I'm Ryan Estes with Tom Record Powder Day Donahue and the Jim Nance of podcasting, Troy Higgins. Who's getting fired up for the Super Bowl?
We're getting fired up.
I don't know if you heard the controversy, Troy, but apparently the Chiefs have been practicing in the Raiders facility, and the 49ers had to practice at UNLV.
I did hear about that. Yeah, there was some discrepancies there, and the Niners staff was not happy. I did hear about that.
I know. Classic NFL. It's unbelievable.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. I think this. What do you think, Troy? Why are they doing that?
I honestly have no idea. I don't know. Maybe it was just who got dibs first. I have no clue.
I can't imagine the Raiders favoring the Chiefs in any capacity. This has to be a play from the NFL brass wanting to make sure Swift Bowl goes down exactly according to plan. Confetti.
T Swift needs to be comfortable during practice sessions.
It's
She
true.
can't be.
It's true.
She doesn't need to be on a college football field watching practice.
It's so true. Nice. So big announcement, you guys. Olivia is out. She is out of the podcast game. But we're gonna miss her dearly. It was wonderful to have her. She is back. She had a wonderful trip, but she's not going to do the podcast anymore. At least on Tuesday mornings. I did get her. It was a high pressure close to say that she can come back and do special vignettes. So we're gonna have Olivia back. We love her. She's right over there, and we'll see her soon.
For now, she's out. We'll
yeah.
see if she is coming back soon. She's got to focus on some other things.
That's right. If she wants to come back, then there'll be hazing. We'll have to do she'll come back for the push-up competition. Well, I'll do push-ups. I don't know why. But today, in her stead, we have a very special guest. We have what is known as a Denver influencer in Alana Kaufman. You know her on Instagram as @ColoradoGirl. Alana, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
Nice. Now, you said before we got going, this is your second podcast. So we're really excited to have you on the show.
I'm very excited to be here.
Cool.
Yes, and that's at the Colorado Gal.
Oh, I blew it. You know what it was? It was a spell check. It just shortened it to Colorado Girl when clearly she's the Colorado Gal.
It's all good.
Yes.
We'll link it in the show
Alana's
notes.
profile is very well done. I hope you guys scrolled through it, but you do great with all your content and videos and everything. It seems like you put a lot of work into that.
Yes, it is a lot of work. It's, grown a lot over the last few years, so I'm really grateful for the community I've built. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of work that goes into it. I think some people just think it's a lot of fun and games, and I have the opportunity to check out a lot of really unique places in Colorado, but then there's a lot of work once I leave those places to actually fit it into an Instagram reel, TikTok video, and get it so people seem want to be interested and want to watch it, and highlight the company or the business in a really great way.
Yeah, let's kick it right off. I mean, a lot of folks think, I guess in social media is kind of a career path now, and some folks think like, oh, I'm one viral video away from being able to do it. Tell us how you get started, and you've got like a significant audience, and kind of tell us what your sweet spot is and what you're trying to accomplish with your page.
Yeah, so I actually started it several years ago when I moved back to Denver. So born and raised in Denver, left for college, came back. Always been a really big foodie, which was kind of my bread and butter when I initially started. I actually used to be 5280 Foodies was my original handle. And why I started it was I'd get a lot of text messages, calls from friends and family asking, where to go out in Denver. And especially a few years ago when I had just moved back, was really when the Denver food scene was, making big waves, really changing, lots of new restaurants popping up. And instead of just sending, I kind of started compiling a list on my phone very organized in terms of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, types of cuisines, all of this. I started thinking, what if I just started taking photos of my meals and then posting them? Didn't really want that to be my like personal account where I share my pictures of what's going on in my life. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just start a new account, share it with friends and family, and then they can kind of see where I am dining out. And I just, really loved trying new restaurants in Colorado. And so that's kind of where it started. Wasn't necessarily trying to grow a following at that point. Just really was trying to give recommendations to people that constantly reached out to me. And then during COVID, I started reaching out to restaurants that I loved, had grown up on, that I could see were struggling, and was essentially saying, hey, I'm coming in tonight. Can I talk to you guys about what you're doing in terms of, COVID protocols? What were they, doing delivery now, doing takeout, seating people 10 feet apart, whatever it was that they were doing. And from there, that's kind of when things just really took off for me, which was awesome. And then I was able to just start covering lots of different restaurants within Colorado that, wanted to show how they were going about the big changes of COVID. And then the last year, 2 years, things kind of, COVID quote unquote died down. And then, influencer marketing just really took off. So then I, have been given lots of opportunities to showcase restaurants, when they have new specials, new restaurant openings, all that jazz. And then last year, I made the decision to shift my content. Absolutely love and still do a lot of restaurant content, but really just wanted to give a full-on, experience of what it's like living in Colorado, and wanted, my handle to reflect that. So now I do all sorts of content in terms of, experiences, things to do in Denver, still restaurants, but, new things popping up, and entertainment, like all these new pickleball halls and golf simulators, and then, hikes going, best places to leaf peep, just all that, the things that Denver and beyond Denver have to offer. And so now that's kind of it's not all over the place, but gives a good, general opportunity for people to see, what's going on within Denver and then beyond, and all of Colorado.
It's really cool that you have kind of a COVID origin story, particularly because it was so squirrely. I mean, I do everything I can to like block out the COVID times, but two things come to mind. One, remember when you could build like a little igloo outside? So it was like, you can't go inside and eat, but you can go outside inside. That's cool. You can do that. And
Yeah.
then the other one was, remember it was like, okay, you can come in, you have to wear a mask when you're walking around. Once you sit down, you can take that mask off, you're good. But if you have to stand back up, you put it back on. I mean, it was really a wild time because there was like different rules. Now, were you running into that early on where people were wanting to explain? They're like, hey, we built igloos outside. You need to know that you can come down here and eat outside, inside.
Mm-hmm. It just kind of depended on the restaurant, I think. Like for me, I was just initially going into places that I always dine at, places I've been going to for years. And then, yeah, some of the, more unique experiences that came out of COVID, they were reaching out to us about, igloos, or the takeout alcohol was a huge thing.
Totally.
That from COVID was, I mean, I loved it.
A bucket of margaritas.
Wild,
You're like, yes.
You
Do they
could
still
literally
have
just
that?
go. I think you can still only do it at the airport, which, I mean, airport is lawless anyway. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
but yeah, I was literally, picking up to-go margaritas and like doing videos of how you could, grab this bucket of margs and bring it home with you. And it was always, I don't know, I always got nervous going home in the car being like, I hope I don't get pulled over, but like, I'm pretty sure it's legal.
That's good.
But
Yeah.
it
Got the
was a
sticker
weird,
over the
experience.
sticker over the
yeah,
straw
exactly.
hole.
Totally.
I had
Yep.
no idea that any of that was a thing. People were eating in igloos. Like,
They were like these like plastic
Bubbles.
kind of bubbles. Yeah, exactly. I think some restaurants still have them, like maybe Annette's in the Stanley Marketplace still does them, and maybe I don't know if Hop Alley still does them. Um, American Elm was doing, there was, yeah, everyone had these like outdoor, indoor dining experiences.
Did
Yeah,
you
we go ahead.
did you mention leaf peeping? What is this? What is leaf
Leaf
peeping?
paving, it is when the leaves are changing in Colorado in the
Oh,
mountains. This is maybe a Colorado coin term, but people want to find the best spots to like drive around,
yes.
hike around, and see those beautiful golden leaves.
Gotcha.
So I like hiking, so I did a few videos on best hikes to leaf peep, but people love driving the mountains and seeing it. Yeah, and it's probably a very Colorado term.
I had not heard it before, but now it makes sense. I know Aspen's a big leaf peeping
Hmm.
location.
Definitely.
During that COVID time, we lost a lot of restaurants. They weren't able to make
Hmm.
it, and there was like kind of a sentiment that it was like, "Hey, man, you gotta get out and spawn, or you gotta support the restaurants you really like, to make sure that they can keep their doors open." Post COVID, they tripled prices, so I think they're doing great. What were the restaurants that you were like, I have to patronize these restaurants because these can't go anywhere?
Ooh, that's a great question. There's a lot of like restaurants on the side of town where I grew up on that, we frequented. Bagel Deli, big one for my family. We grew up there. We used to go get lunch there all the time in high school.
That's over off
Um,
Hamden. That's the one.
yeah, right off
Yeah. Oh
Hamden.
yeah, that place is
Um,
great.
love that place. Zadie's, another one, Deli's, was great. They struggled a little bit during COVID, and then now they reopened in a new location. They were in Cherry Creek. Now they're more in Southeast. I don't think it's technically Glendale, but just outside Glendale, that area. And then just like a lot of hole in the wall restaurants, Mexican restaurants. I live not too far off of Federal, so there's a lot of those. So we were frequenting a ton of those.
Hold
Um,
on, we can't just glaze past that. If you live federal and where?
I'm like 2 blocks from the stadium,
Oh, nice.
16th.
Jefferson Park.
Other side, Spoons Lake.
Okay, cool. I'm at
So I
24th and
guess it's
Quitman.
two. Okay, it's
Yeah.
like 2 blocks to Federal, and then you're walk down to the stadium.
So you're off what, 23rd, you say?
16th.
Oh, 16th. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Yeah, you're in my neighborhood. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tacos Jalisco's. That was one for me, like
Okay.
absolute must save during COVID. They did great. They had gallons of margaritas, and then they changed. Now they got the patio. They kept the patio on the front instead of the parking spaces. Fantastic.
A lot of that
Yeah.
stuck around, which is nice. There's a lot more outdoor dining, I think, around the world these days.
Yeah. All those I like the street closures too have been nice. Like still on some places downtown, and then like Pearl Street, and other places around town. But I kind of like that street dining now without the cars. Rhino too also has that now too.
Totally.
Good change.
All right, I got a question for you. So, one thing I love about your page is it's kind of a celebration of food in Denver. And for whatever reason, there's a sentiment in Denver that Denver has terrible food. If you go to the subreddit, Denver Circle Jerk, or you look up Denver, like people just are waiting in line to trash Denver. And I never really understood it. I mean, maybe 15, 20 years ago, there was like less options, but there was always good food. You know what I mean? I don't know if people are looking for some like fine dining experience, like, oh, I can't get, my French food in Denver, but why should you? So I love that you're celebrating that. What do you think contributes to that? What makes Denver somewhat self-loathing as far as their appreciation of food here?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was literally talking about this with someone last night. I think that a lot of times it has to do with a lot of people didn't grow up here and they come here from bigger cities where, population is bigger, the amount of restaurants is much more prominent. So they come with the expectation that we are, a Los Angeles, a New York, a Miami, where we have to kind of live up to that standard. And I think a lot of people then end up being disappointed with not having that exact same big city vibe with our restaurant scene. But I also just think people don't seek out, far beyond what they do read on Instagram or what they see, when you Google best food in Denver. I don't necessarily think that's always the best list of places to go. Not to say that those places aren't good, but I think, you definitely need to do your research before going out to eat, because there are so many great restaurants, so many mom and pop restaurants on Federal, on other places in Denver that might not make the list of top 10 restaurants, but have incredible food. Also, I think, a lot of people are sometimes looking for that fine dining experience, which up until the last few years, Denver didn't necessarily offer. But now I feel like every week I see some new restaurant popping up in Denver that's, fine dining, offering those kinds of experiences. And I think with the Michelin star having come to Denver last year, I think we're going to see a lot more of those, unique dining experiences, 12 people in the restaurant, very intimate kind of dining spaces start popping up a lot more. There's already some great places I've been able to go to that are similar to that. But I think, those are definitely upscale. And a lot of times, they do have wonderful food. But for me, that's not a realistic place that I'm going to frequent every week. And I think there are some, absolutely wonderful spots, around town that you can easily get to, pay under $20 for your whole meal, and still have some fantastic food.
You know what I blame it on? Anthony Bourdain. And God rest his soul, I love him more than absolutely anything. I love Bourdain, but I got a beef and a bone to pick. Someday maybe I'll speak to him in the afterlife, because he did an original session of No Reservations in Denver and just trashed Denver. It was terrible. And I mean, he is like the he is the god of the misanthropic hipster elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, No Reservation is absolute canon. You got to watch that. So maybe to your point, I mean, street food, we got that in spades. We got like family recipes, that kind of stuff. We got that in spades. Those were the two segments of the show. But then he always had the like very like, cutting edge chef doing wild stuff. And at that time, maybe we didn't have that, or maybe those people were underrepresented. But he did a whole episode just trashing Denver. I don't know how many other cities he did that to, but he did it to us. And maybe that people picked up on that energy, and that it persists to this day. But it's a trope. It's like, dude, you're out of your mind, man. If you don't know where to eat good food in Denver, you're not even trying, man. It's ridiculous. So shout out to Bourdain. Rest in peace.
I tried to do a Bourdain recommendation in Prague when I was living out there. And he recommended this Czech beer cheese, which is made with like, I don't know what kind of fish is in it, but it's mashed up fish and it's like a cheese. But the thing about it is that when you eat it, you're supposed to be able to drink like 5 times as much that night, because whatever reaction it has in your stomach with alcohol just like prevents you from getting that drunk. And like on the show, he did it. What was it? Parts Unknown was his show?
That was the CNN show. That was a great one.
I think that's what it was. But he did it, and he was like, then he went out to drink the whole night, and he has the camera crews and everything. And he's like, I am not drunk. Like, so me and my friends were like, we're gonna try it, and we go to the restaurant and we order it, and even the waiter's like, are you sure, like, you want to order that? He's like, you probably shouldn't. Like, you don't really know. It was maybe like $20 or something. So we're like, we just want to get it. Like, we want to try it. And before it even got to our table, we're like, what is that? Like, who has that? And we just see the waiter like smiling, like bringing it over to us because he knows we can already smell it. And I don't even think we had him put it down on the table. It was really rough.
Fish cheese? Smell.
You didn't try it?
I was gonna throw up. Like when he put it on the table, I think we just looked at it and we're like, "There's no shot that we're eating that." But we tried.
Mashed up fish and cheese. That doesn't sound
They they all got a kick out of watching us be grossed out and not eat it. They took it off the bill for us.
Wow. Well, maybe that was it. Maybe Bourdain need to be challenged. Maybe he needs something that bites back. Alana,
Yeah.
what's challenging about Denver cuisine? What could we bring Bourdain back to try?
I mean, challenging, something
Yeah,
hot maybe.
I think a challenge, or like in the sense of, what we should bring him back for, because I feel like these upscale restaurants is probably, we have these chefs now that we could really highlight. Um, but in terms of a challenge, oof,
Yeah, because he likes like
I tend,
he likes the old eggs and stuff like that. The fish
yeah,
cheese.
Dude,
I stay far away from that.
I just want to bring him back for a mushroom Swiss burger at the Candlelight Tavern because that is just
Oh,
That
fire.
slaps.
Or
That's good.
Tatsu Izakaya ramen. That I stay repping that on the show, but I don't think anyone ever goes to eat it down in DU. Tatsu Izakaya, the best ramen.
I need to get into that. Go ahead, Alana. Sorry, I cut you off.
no, I'm thinking, I don't know that's a hard one. I don't know. There's not I tend to stay away from the challenges and extremely hot or not super enticing food. I don't think I would have gone for the fish cheese.
Fish cheese.
If we're pulling Anthony
Might
Bourdain,
have ruined my appetite for today.
if we're pulling Anthony Bourdain out of his endless slumber, it better be something good. So I don't want to make a real decision on that.
Yeah, no, we'll have to give that some consideration.
Yeah, we can't disrespect him by pulling him for something bad.
And I had salmon and cream cheese for like dinner last night, so I mean it's not that crazy, but a pungent aroma might like spoil the
No,
energy.
Different type
this
of
is
cheese.
not. I'm telling you, like you've never smelled something like this.
We were so far in though. I feel like there was no turning back at that point. It must have been that awful where you just couldn't do
We might have. I'm sure I did a little like a little taste, but there was not. I did not do a spoonful.
it. Okay.
We definitely like dipped our fingers in and tried it, and that was it. But the smell was just like we couldn't get it off the table fast enough. Like the whole restaurant knew what we had, so
That's intense.
it was a scene.
That's intense.
So, Alana, looking at your Instagram, you're doing a lot of giveaways, promos, stuff like that. Obviously, it's in restaurants' best interest to have you promoting their stuff. What does the Alana bump look like? Like you post something, do you get feedback from like Little Man or something if you do a giveaway that people go down there? What is the feedback like for some of these restaurants?
Yeah, it really depends. I, will go into places on my own, or I also get reached out to. So it's just kind of a matter of who's reaching out to who. But I never go in anywhere like expecting anything. Little Man was a really awesome promo I did with them for a giveaway. So that was kind of working in tandem with them for a ice cream social. And who doesn't love Little Man's? I had them at my wedding.
Nice.
So big Little Man's fan. But promos are always a really great way to give exposure to the restaurants, give away something that, they of their choosing, whether it be a gift card, whether it be an experience, something like that. And then typically brings them some new followers that maybe weren't already aware of them or weren't following them, and then hopefully gets more people to come in to their business or restaurant in the future once they're already following and kind of start getting up to date on their social media, seeing them regularly now in their feed, and then being able to kind of be in the know about what's going on with them.
Yeah, I mean, can businesses sponsor you for a feature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Businesses I'm always open for working with any businesses. So I get reached out to, and then kind of go from there of what that looks like, what they're looking for, how I can help them,
Cool.
what makes sense for them. But yeah, I think, right now a really awesome feature on Instagram is collaborations. So, prior to collaborations being, what they are, I would post about a restaurant, and then you'd have to go into the caption or go into the tagged profile to find the restaurant, to go to their social media,
Yeah.
which still was able, still you had the ability to bring a lot of new followers to a restaurant or a business. But with the new collaboration feature, I think it's just, so awesome, because now you're seeing the reel on my feed, on their feed. You're getting, cross kind of pollination of both followers, and really able to kind of connect the dots of, she's showing this restaurant on her feed, but you can go directly to their feed just by clicking on it. You see it's the Colorado gal, and whatever business it might be. And I think it's just a really great new feature that Instagram introduced over the last year, that's really, I think, helped restaurants and brands overall to really give some great exposure organically.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And, I'm looking at through some of your posts, and oddly, we have some synchronicity here between you and this podcast. There's a couple of themes that always come up. One's barbecue, and the other one is this plus yoga, whatever this might be.
Yeah.
I
love the this plus yoga events.
This plus yoga is everything. And I just look at this post from 5 days ago. You got Pit Fiend, shout out to those guys, and puppy yoga.
Yes.
I definitely have been repping puppy yoga.
Yeah, that's
There was
true.
puppy yoga, goat yoga, aquarium yoga.
That's on my list. Aquarium yoga.
Botanical Gardens yoga.
Red Rocks
Botanic
yoga.
Gardens too. Yeah.
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 There's lots
Yoga
of
on the
yogas.
rocks.
Yes.
Yes. I just did puppy yoga. That was, I think, the second time I've done it. You don't get a lot of yoga done, to be completely honest. It's all about the puppies.
The puppies.
More puppy.
Yeah.
They were all, not all of them, but a majority of the puppies at the class I was just at were adoptable. So it's just like,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's you gotta almost want to leave with a puppy. I did not. I already have one. But I think after the event, most of the puppies were adopted. A few of the dogs there had just been adopted that week, and then we're coming back to meet their litter mates. But yeah, I do love a good goat yoga too. It's crazy the amount of things you can just throw into yoga, and then it makes it a lot more popular, because I am not one to sign up for yoga classes usually. That's not my passion, where my passion lies. But the moment you introduce something to the yoga class, I'm there.
Yes.
Jogging, sitting there all jealous. Be like, what about puppies plus jogging? That was original.
Yeah.
It needs
I
to
don't know
Can't
if I-
keep up. Tiny
I don't know
little
if I could
legs
go to puppy yoga. I think I would leave with some fresh.
dogs.
with some dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, your
dangerous.
page is awesome. The content's awesome. I love the list formats too. Those always get me sucked in.
Oh yeah, I do love doing some each month. I do free events in Denver. I think there's some awesome events that people just aren't aware of that happen. Free museum days, free days at the zoo, different free events that are going on just around town at local businesses that people aren't aware of, like markets and Valentine's Day ongoing currently. So I think it's helpful to get the word out about things you might just not know about, but then when you do, it's a fun new thing to do.
Agreed. I tell you what, let's rip through some events coming up this weekend, and then we're going to do some Denver trivia. Alana, you ready for that?
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right, Tom, hit us with what you got going on this week.
All right, let me get my little list out right here. So this week, and this is a shout out to Katie, our previous guest host. She is always going to the DU events. She likes to watch DU hockey, but this week I'm highlighting DU women's gymnastics. I got tickets for one March 3rd. I used to be a gymnast for a very long time, so I'm super hyped about this. I've never actually I've been around a lot of professional gymnasts doing crazy stuff, but I've never actually been to a gymnastics meet.
Yeah, that seems really fun.
Outside of when I was like a kid, like participating in them. But now I'm sure this is going to be sick. They just got bumped up. They're 9th in the country right now. DU women's gymnastics. So
Wow.
should be pretty sweet. They have a meet this Sunday, the 11th at 1:45 at the Magnus Arena down by DU. Check that out. I'm sure it's going to be sick. I'm going to the one on the 3rd. This weekend, it's against Iowa State and Southeast Missouri State.
Cool.
So check that out. Last week, I told everyone that I was going to highlight the social languages class. They have not announced when their next class is yet, but they have gotten their website up, so you can go on there and you go follow them. That is the language learning class that they do, like in breweries and like, nighttime locations where it's like grab a beer and then you're fully immersed in Spanish for the night for like an hour or so. And they'll do events like physical, activities and stuff to help you learn the language. So they don't have the next class scheduled yet, but they do have the website up where you can go and you can follow and get updates about when the next one is if you want to learn. And then I did a little Super Bowl one, the McGregor Square watch party. Really only go if you want to get pretty crazy. Like,
Is that a big party?
yeah, well, especially for like the Nuggets, obviously, and like the Avalanche. Like whenever it's a big finals watch party, the McGregor Square party is the one that gets pretty rowdy, especially when you have a Denver team in it. But for the Super Bowl, I'm sure it's going to be pretty similar. They have the huge big screen in that. If you've never been to McGregor Square, they have the whole viewing area for whatever they want to put on the TV.
Yeah, it's fun.
But I think you're going to get free pizza and a free beer for this one. So
Sweet.
check that out. The inside area there is nice too. It's kind of like a milk market type, like food court next to a bar.
Milepost Zero. Milepost Zero.
Yes, exactly. My buddy Patrick's over there bartending. So if you go in on Super Bowl Sunday, say hi to Patrick from the pod.
Shout.
And that's going to be it for me. Ryan, you want to go next?
You betcha, man. Dude, I really want to try this social, what is it, language and beers?
Yeah, social languages is what the event is called. So I'll let you know when the next one is. You can come
Okay.
through. I did their. So Josh, like I said, is the one who connected me to them.
Yeah.
And he was filming their like first big promo video because Josh is a video gangsta.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna be editing it and helping them promote. So
Cool.
the next one should be pretty soon. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll let you know when it is.
Totally. I mean, there's some magical. I don't know if this is what the event is, but if it could be like language, let's say Spanish 101 and English 101 together, talking to each other. These are my favorite conversations. That's exactly me when I go to Mexico, or me the other day. I met this great guy from Venezuela. He asked to clean the windshield. I'm like, oh yeah, bueno. I'm like, gracias, me llamo Ryan. He goes, I am from Venezuela. I'm like, I know, man. So he's out there with like he's got his 4 English phrases. I got my 4 Spanish phrases, and we're just like,
And that's all you
putting
guys
it
need.
together. Yeah, man, it was great, but it's really fun. Anytime you got like a waiter who's like getting in there with his English, you're like, dude, that's awesome. Let me see if I can meet you where I'm at, which is Denver Public Schools Spanish 101 in the 90s.
That's the limit. And, yeah, 90s Spanish 101.
Awesome. Cool. I've got just a couple of things. I'm just sponsoring Monster Jam on Saturday because what kind of way do you want to go into the Super Bowl but experiencing Monster Jam? Troy, you ever been to Monster Jam? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you have the pleasure of knowing a young boy and girls love Monster Jam too, but particular for young boys, monster trucks are just, it's electric. It's amazing. There is a lot of like excess car exhaust in the stadium because it's indoors.
Oh.
That's like, well, you don't think about that. It's
Is everyone getting a little lightheaded in there?
yeah, totally. You're kind of hot boxing like diesel fumes. But Monster Jam's amazing.
Bring your earphones and your gas mask.
Yeah.
Apparently. Okay.
Yeah. You definitely want to plug the ears. But a mask is not a bad idea. But Monster Jam's so cool. And then I've got 3 events, and one of these, Heidi actually was like, "Hey, we should go see this," and I was like, it sounds like doing something, which generally I'm opposed to a lot of times. But the fact that they all come together, it seems like these people speaking my language. And what they are is they're 3 tribute bands. One on Friday is Schism. It's a tribute to Tool. They're playing at the Oriental Theater over there on Tenney. Then we have Nirvanish on Friday that's playing at Little Bear. It's a tribute to Nirvana. And then also on Friday at Meow Wolf is one more time a tribute to Daft Punk. Now, why I think this is particularly for me, let's just assume the music, of course. The music is our music from high school, so that, but also like this is also a time, if we're talking about 92 when Nevermind comes out, if we're thinking Tool's first record comes out in 93, I think Daft Punk was probably 93, 94 when those came out. This is a prime time headphone music times. Oh, sorry. I'm slamming my fist again. So you had your CD, your Discman, you know what I'm saying? And you had your headphones, and if you were lucky, you had a Discman that had a little 3-band equalizer. So this is the first time people are wearing like over-the-ear headphones like all the time, So a lot of us ingested some of this amazing music for the first time, completely immersed in the sonic landscape because we're just doing everything with headphones on now. You know what I'm saying? So that influences the way you want to see the bands. Now, all 3 of these bands, I mean, rest in peace, Nirvana, Kurt, what's up? But like Tool and Daft Punk, if you want to see those bands, they're going to be headlining at a music festival, which for me, I'm just not going to go see that.
Not going there.
That's too much. It's too much of a commitment. I can't manage that. I got to get tickets. I got to find glow sticks. I got to figure out how to get on a diet so I can fit into some kind of costume to look cool. And then somebody's going to make fun of me. You know what I mean? Just to get all the way to the show. I'm not going to do that. But you got these people that also love the music, and they're like, let's play clubs and theaters. And then we can bring that to the people. So maybe I'm changing my mind. Friday, how close are we to Valentine's Day? If I took Heidi out to this, maybe would that qualify as a Valentine's Day event?
Valentine's Day is next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Oh, so like this is like Valentine's Day weekend kind of.
Yeah.
If we did event, okay. So we could do event for Valentine's Day this weekend. Dinner, I could make dinner on Wednesday, and we're in the clear.
The real question is, are you going Daft Punk or are you going Nirvanish?
Or Schism, tribute to Tool.
Yeah. What's the most romantic?
Okay, here's how I think about this. Daft Punk would be really fun, but it's at Meow Wolf, which makes it just annoying to me. Nirvanish is going to be really loud, and Tool, a tribute to Tool. Now, what I know about Tool fans, and I know this because I worked at Guitar Center in the 90s, like people that like Tool, particular players, drummers and guitar players specifically, they worship Tool. You know what I mean? Like those guys were cutting edge doing different time signatures. They're doing all kinds of different stuff. So whoever's putting together a tribute to Tool is going to take it very seriously.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah. So maybe that's the one. Maybe maybe we buy tickets and go to this.
That one's where is that one?
Oriental Theater.
Okay.
Which a buddy of mine used to own the Oriental Theater. I'm not sure if he does. Andy, shout out to you. I think he's still there. I think he still owns it. At least when we sponsored that wrestling event there.
Oh, yeah.
He still had that.
Yeah.
It's that spot.
We saw some sick wrestling at the Oriental.
Yeah. Local wrestling is the best. So that's what I got. That's what I got for this weekend. Plus, I'm thinking big sandwich for the Super Bowl. Alana, what's on the menu for Super Bowl Sunday? What are you gonna do?
House. But it's all the appetizers you could imagine. Pigs in a blanket,
Nice.
baked brie. I don't know if there's a lot of baked bries happening at other Super Bowl parties, but we're always bringing baked brie.
Those are good.
Lots of fried chicken, pizza.
Everything.
I feel like wings. You gotta have wings. And then, people I think, skimp on the dessert part, but I've got a sweet tooth. So you got to also have a dessert spread. Doesn't have to be anything lavish, but like cookies, brownies, something. You got to cater to the sweet tooth as well. It can't all be about the wings and the pizza and the beer. You got to have some dessert too.
You
That's
must.
my ideal spread.
Okay, you said 16th and Federal. That's walking distance. Just let me know. I'll bring my kids over. We'll bring
I'm not hosting,
little brownies.
so you're welcome to come here, but no one will be here.
No one will be there.
Nice. Cool. No, one time I won a Twitter promotion from Sprouts Market, and it was it was a 6-foot sandwich for the Super Bowl and like all the fixins. It was like everything. It was the best day of my life. It was amazing.
One real quick, a nice little Super Bowl thing that I like to do. I make like loaded nachos. So they'll have so much stuff in it, whatever you can imagine. You can have some taco meat or like some bacon, whatever. And I'll do multiple layers. But after the top layer, once they get down a little bit deeper into the chips, it transfers to Cool Ranch Doritos. Ooh. And you should see the people's faces when they're like eating the tortilla chips and they're like, what? Is this Cool Ranch Doritos? And I'm like, yes.
Speaking of nachos, in the Super Bowl, so in one of the fantasy football leagues I was in, the last place punishment is that the person who gets last had to make and eat Oreo nachos, which is basically like instead of chips, use Oreos. So on Super Bowl this Sunday, one of my friends is going to be making his Oreo nachos, so Oreos with melted cheese, seasoned ground beef.
Dude, what?
No.
And he's filming a tutorial and review on TikTok, so it's going to be.
He's going to go viral.
Yeah, I'll have to share that with everyone.
Oh man!
His review of those nachos. Those will be consumed this Sunday.
Dude, you need 30 milligrams before you go into some nachos like that.
Yeah. My friend groups, I don't play, but their punishments are pretty wild. This year, the loser, I think they need to do this for 3 months, but they essentially need to live stream the equivalent of like an Australian morning news segment. So every day they'll have to report on the weather in Australia and like, current events and things happening. They'll be live streaming every morning at like 7 a.m.
This is for losing a bet or?
Losing the fantasy football league.
Getting last. Yeah. Oh. How long do they have to do that for?
I think it's for a couple months, like 3 months.
God,
that's crazy.
That's a wild one. The last one, no, maybe 2 ago, they had to take a bus to Canada and then just get directly on the next bus back.
God dang.
So they get
serious.
They get some rough punishments in there. One guy had to enter an amateur bodybuilding competition. And participate. He had to do like a whole routine, like a flexing routine and like a talent and stuff.
Wow.
So they go hard with him. That one was on like ESPN. They shared it on ESPN for the best punishments.
Oh my gosh. The good thing about that though is you get to get the spray tan 11 going. I've always wanted that.
He had to get the spray tan. Otherwise, he would have just not even. I don't know if they would accept him.
Yeah, you got to go deep spray tan to get up there.
He went hard on the legs, so like his legs were like he looked like he was a bodybuilder.
Really? He got all shredded out?
I think that's what his focus was. He's like, I'm just gonna make the legs, and then he had like good leg poses, but he did good.
Nice.
Shout out to Petey.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But we got to get Alana's events here. We'd sidetracked.
Yes.
All good. My first 2 are somewhat geared towards Super Bowl. Friday, there is a puppy bowl at the airport. So all adoptable dogs from the Denver Animal Shelter. It's going on at the airport in kind of the big grand hall. But if you don't want to drive out to the airport like most of us, they also are live streaming the event from 10 a.m. to noon. So that is going on this Friday, just a few days. So get your puppy fix and in a little pre Super Bowl Sunday. And also Social Hour, which I believe is a dog, not a dog boarding place, is also doing a Super Bowl Sunday Puppy Bowl. So they have adoptable dogs. There is a social hour, and that's kicking off in the morning before Super Bowl Sunday. So lots of dogs and puppies going into the game. And then want to shout out the Block Distilling. If you haven't been down in Rhino, a lot of breweries down there, but the Block Distilling is also down there if you're looking for a good cocktail fix. But they are doing a love letter to Denver next week, and they're offering a free cocktail to anyone that comes by during their open hours. Your first cocktail is on them in honor of Valentine's Day and living in Denver. So definitely go check them out next week to celebrate Valentine's Day, a great solo date, a great cheap date, or bring your friend group there and start your Valentine's Day with a free drink.
Very nice. It's good vibes inside the Block Distillery. I've been in there. It's a cool little
Yes.
atmosphere, and you can see the whole like distilling process through the big glass windows in there.
Cool.
Different than
Yeah,
a brewery, but it looks kind of similar. Big metal vats
Yeah.
that you don't know what's happening inside of.
Oh yeah, they've
Magic.
always got tons of events going on. They have like comedy nights and poetry nights and markets. They've got it. They do a lot of cool stuff there.
You know how I know you're from Denver without saying you're from Denver? All your events are puppies.
That's true. I'm surprised that the Puppy Bowl event is at the airport. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
tough
think
parking.
it's because, yeah, expensive parking. I think it's because they have the Den team. I can't remember exactly what the name is, but if you're ever at the airport, I'm always lucky enough that I run into them, but they have those they're not service dogs, but they walk around and comfort you as you are in your stressful time of need traveling. They're in the like purple vests. So I think it's put on by or sponsored by that group that does that at the airport. So I think that's why it's there. But streamable too, so you can watch it from the comfort of your home.
Emotional support puppies.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always lucky enough I run into like one or two of them and have to stop my, walking to my gate to make sure I pet a few dogs before I get on a plane. Good luck.
Cool. Well, I tell you what, we only got a couple of minutes here. And Alana, thanks so much for your time. But let's do some trivia. We've
course.
prepared a little bit of trivia. I think each of us have what, three pieces of trivia. So Troy, let's have you lead, buddy. How are we gonna do this? Let's do some trivia.
So I think it's gonna be Ryan and Alana answering the questions. So we're gonna have a little friendly competition here to see who has the most knowledge, about Denver and really anything. It's gonna be geographical locations, monuments, food, sports, whatever. It's just random trivia. And I have some questions we can ask. We'll keep score. It'll be 1 point per question. Tom has some questions, and then we can do a little bonus round with your questions, Ryan, at the end.
Amazing. Loser has to eat the Oreo nachos.
There we go. Loser eats Oreo nachos.
How should we have them write down the answers, or
I think we'll just, if one person goes, if they get it right, they can keep going. And then if they get it wrong, the next person takes over. Is that fair?
Or we could do, if you ask a question, I have an answer, Alana has an answer, and then we say who's right or wrong after that, each one.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. If you guys end up with the same answer, I guess that's fine. It's an honor code here.
Right. Well, then whoever's that goes second is at an advantage.
That's why maybe we need to.
We could go back and forth.
We
We'll
need to write
toggle
'em down.
back and forth.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So Alana, you can go first. So the first question here is, what is the name of the historic amusement park in Denver that features one of the oldest wooden roller coasters in the world?
Lakeside.
That is the correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. Very good, Alana.
Okay, hold on. I'm keeping
Good
score
question,
here.
Troy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good
Okay.
one.
So Lana, you get to go again until you get one wrong, and then when you get one wrong, Ryan will have a chance to answer.
I like
Same.
this. This is the proper way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's turn up the difficulty notch here a little bit. In what year did the Denver Broncos win their first Super Bowl, and who was their quarterback at the time? Two-part answer.
They won their first.
1997. I don't think that's right. I think it's around there though. John Elway.
That's all correct.
That
across
is
the board.
that is the correct answer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think the Broncos had 3 L's before that win.
Yeah,
That
I think we've been 5 times, and we have like I think the most. I think I read this yesterday. We have the most losses. We're tied for the most losses. Beat a Super Bowl team, but we still have a few wins. So that's all that. It's more than some teams can say.
Thank God for the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. I bet Ryan thought he was about to get the steal right there. But Alana came through.
Alana come through with the solid 97 Broncos.
Nailed it.
My
Okay,
high salute.
we'll do another sports one here. Which NBA team did the Denver Nuggets defeat in the 2020 NBA playoffs to advance to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2009?
Oh, I definitely am not gonna. I watched all the games. Oh, I have. Definitely. I had no clue.
Random guess.
Just say this. The Knicks. I don't know.
That is incorrect.
I was like, definitely not right.
It was the
Ryan, you
Phoenix Suns.
Incorrect.
Oh, is it Golden State?
No.
Clippers. It was the Clippers.
Oh, it was the Clippers.
I was not gonna say the Clippers.
It was the Clippers for the national championship or the
Western Conference,
Western
you
Conference
said.
final.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're tied still.
Or Alana has 2. You have 0.
Oh.
Yeah, because now you have to steal from Alana. So you get the chance to answer first now, Ryan.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good questions, Troy.
Appreciate it. I'll do one more, and then Tom, you want to do yours next?
Sure.
Okay. Let's pick one here. Okay. Built in 1908, which historic theater in Denver is renowned for its elaborate Moorish revival architecture and hosts a variety of performances, including concerts, comedy shows, and film screenings?
1908. 1908 in Denver. Boy, that's what, 118 years ago? That's a long time ago. 1908 theater. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I have no. I'll say the Oriental Theater.
That is correct. The Oriental-
Yes.
Wow.
Callback, Troy.
There you go.
Nice. Wow. That
We were
that's-
just talking about it.
Yeah, 1908, man. Respect.
I was going to guess the Gothic Theater for that.
That's cool because that technically then wouldn't have been Denver because it was probably Berkeley, right? I think it was like a small township of Berkeley. They had trolleys up there and stuff, and then it was annexed by Denver as Denver, took over. Nice. Okay, 1-2. 1-2.
Tom, you want to go through some of yours?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, who's answering first here? I think Ryan, because he just got that one right.
Yeah.
So, what is the oldest operating bar/restaurant in Denver?
My brother's bar.
That's true. That is correct. Okay, that was maybe an easy one, but
Also believe they claim to have invented the cheeseburger.
Interesting.
I think so. I was reading that as well, that the cheeseburger was coined in Denver. That was
Yeah.
a potential other trivia question.
There's weird synchronicity happening. I drove past it this morning, taking my kids to school, and I was like, "Hey, that's the oldest bar in Denver." And did you know that it used to have a second floor, and they don't know what happened to it?
Yes, because we talked about, I think this was my Denver history special a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
One of the oldest I thought it was like your brother owned the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I-
See, I was just testing Ryan to see if he was paying attention to my features.
Nice. I know. I don't know if I really get the point, because we did talk about this the other day. And poor Troy, Tom's talking about his brother's bar, and Troy's just like, "Wow, he bought like a
brother
historic
has the
landmark, huh?"
Oldest bar in Denver. Yeah.
Guy.
No. My brother's bar, continuously serving fine beers and spirits since 1873.
And cheeseburgers, they are delicious.
Okay, so Ryan got another point there. I have a multi-point one, so I'm gonna actually do the next one first.
Is this the tiebreaker?
That we could save that towards the end. So I'll do one more. Troy can finish his out, and then I got a tiebreaker question. But we're gonna do it anyway. Okay, so Denver is known as the Mile High City for its high altitude and thin air. On average, how much farther do golf balls fly in Denver compared to sea level? Is it A, 10%, B, 12%, C, 18%, or D, 22%? So you can both answer with like A, B, C, or D.
I would say A, 10%, the lowest one.
A, 10%.
I would say C.
18%. Okay, the correct answer is A, 10% with Ryan. And if you're up in the mountains, it can go as high as 12% farther when you're golfing.
Shout out to the Blake Street Bombers. Remember back when the Rockies were good? That baseball can fly pretty well, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Alana with 2 points, Ryan with 3 points. We're going to kick it back to Troy.
Okay, so we're going to continue with Ryan since he's on a hot streak here. Try to get him a hard one here.
Get him stumped.
Which Denver neighborhood is known for its vibrant street art scene and an eclectic mix of galleries, restaurants, and boutiques?
Is it Rhino?
Yeah.
Yes.
Troy does it.
Yes.
Troy, we're in Rhino currently.
Yeah, our office has been here for many years.
Yeah.
But also, Rhino is kind of a gentrified term. Technically, there's several neighborhoods that incorporate Rhino, most
5
notably 5 points, yeah.
Interesting.
I have a Rhino question. The tiebreaker is going to be a Rhino question, just so you guys know. A little hint.
Good question, though, Troy.
Yeah.
Troy's
Did we
got
tell
some hard
Alana
ones.
that Troy lives in San Diego?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Actually did not know the office was located there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
more question. Let's do Ryan. Denver's Union Station underwent a major renovation and redevelopment in the 2010s. What is the name of the transportation hub that now features a hotel, restaurants, and shops while still serving as a transit center?
Is it not Union Station?
It is Union Station. These questions might be a little too...
It's like,
McDonald's went under an extensive renovation. What was the name of the establishment?
You should hit your tiebreaker one.
Okay,
So-
we're not giving Ryan a point for that one. But okay, here's a chance.
This is Alana's question.
Yes, a chance to earn 5 points. I think you could both give it a try. 5 points up for grabs. There are upwards of 20 breweries in Denver's Rhino Arts District. Name 5 of them.
All right.
Oh,
Well, let's go
okay.
back. Let's go back to back. You start. I'll go, and we can't duplicate.
That is a fair way to do it. Yes.
Okay.
So Alana starts.
okay. Start out. Odell's.
Yes, there is an Odell.
Ratio.
Yes. Ratio.
Our mutual friend.
Good
Yes.
one. Black shirt.
Black shirt. Yes. Yes. With the best pizza, that says. Brewer with the best pizza.
Oh gosh. There's so many, and why am I blanking? I'm trying to picture the street.
Yeah, exactly.
hmm
This is embarrassing.
You got this.
There's not.
They're not all on Larimer, by the way.
There's some big ones too.
Lots of it. Yeah, there's still some big ones left.
I know. I was gonna say there's.
Some internationally renowned ones.
I know. No, Denver Beer Co. doesn't have one in Rhino. There's. This
Or
is bad.
you got it. You got it.
Why am I blanking? I spend so much time there.
See, we got Great Divide. We got Great Divide.
I was thinking Great Divide.
Oh.
I was thinking they're not in Rhino.
No, that's Rhino still. Okay, Ryan's at the 3 count. Alana's named 2 so far. There's also maybe you don't even think beer either.
That's true.
What about does Blue Moon count?
That
Is
does
that
count.
Rhino?
That is still Rhino.
That certainly counts.
Okay, Ryan.
And then
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see.
No. I took your turn.
I'll go Infinite Monkey Theorem.
Yes. Well, that's
You
actually
said
that's a winery.
Wine.
Okay. How about Stem Cider? We're going alt beers.
Stem counts as a brewery.
Okay.
I like Stem.
Stem's good.
You said Ratio, right?
Yeah.
Ratio's got.
Okay. River North.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to think of. Couldn't come up with it.
Okay, we get.
What's the one right by the Great Divide behind it? I forget.
You can each get 1 more point if you can muster up a last brewery.
The one behind Great Divide, and also the one from Utah. What's that one?
I'll give some hints. There's a giant one with big giant sized games.
Bierstadt.
Yes.
Bierstadt. Good one.
It used to be something else though. I can't remember. It was like a winery at one point.
There's part of it is also like a wine house, winery, whatever. Ryan.
Win Coop is down there, but I don't know if that's Rhino technically.
No, but there is one that we always used to go to after KitCons.
Well, Epic was there, but Epic's not there anymore, is it?
Oh, is that right? Epic's gone?
Isn't it?
Yeah,
or did I make that up? I think Epic's gone. Yeah, I think that's vacant.
KitCon Breweries. We said our mutual friend Horatio. That's where we used to go.
Yeah.
Did we say our mutual friend already?
Yeah.
That was I think my first one. That's my favorite.
Cool. Okay.
Shout out to our mutual friend for the best merch in the game too. They always got the fresh T-shirts.
And next to Pit Fiend, so it's like double whammy.
I know. It's a good spot right there.
Cool. I'll run through a couple ones that we missed. 14er Brewing. Did you guys say Epic Brewing? I don't remember. They got sour beers.
Yeah, I said Epic, but I couldn't remember if it was still there or not.
10 Barrel Brewing. I don't think anyone said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mobcraft Brewery.
I think it's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I don't recognize it.
Yeah.
You guys said Great Divide. There's a New Belgium Pilot, like a smaller brewery.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that's a lot of them on the list. I think you guys did pretty good.
Nice. Well, you're a worthy adversary, Alana.
I blamed there on the beginning. I was like, oh, this is too easy.
Yeah, we tie. We tie. Nobody has to eat the Oreo nachos.
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'd like to formally apologize too for having a question that actually had
the name of the answer. That's okay. Sure. No worries.
Yeah, no, those were great, man. If
Yeah,
I
you
had
had
San
really
Diego
good ones.
trivia, it would be way worse than that. Don't worry.
You think I'd catch that by now?
That's all right. Those were very well thought out questions, Troy.
Those were great. Okay, let's leave it there. We have taken all of Alana's morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I do want to give you a parting gift for coming on the show. We're sponsored by Samana Float Center, so you are now the proud owner of a certificate to redeem at Samana. Have you ever been in a float tank before?
No,
Okay. Well, it'll be your first time.
but I will soon.
We expect a full report.
Yes. We're going to see a nice Colorado gal edit for Samana.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. We need the full report on how it goes. I still haven't gotten to use my float yet.
Yeah.
I have one ready to go, but I did not schedule it.
Cool. Well, we'll send that over to you, Alana. Thanks for coming in and hanging out and promoting fun stuff to do in Denver. It's a great,
Thank you, guys.
it's a great follow with tons of great recommendations of events and delicious pictures of food. Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, and real quick, anything you want to shout out? Tell the people where to find you. What's the best thing here?
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the Colorado Gal. And always looking for new recs and places to try. So slide into my DMs and always looking for good recommendations where to go. Thank you guys for
Amazing.
having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely. And thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. You can message us on the show at kitcaster.com/Denver. You can also subscribe on YouTube, where we stream live on Tuesday mornings. And you can subscribe on Apple or Spotify or wherever else you get your podcast. Shout out to Samana for sponsoring the show as always. And Alana, I hope you have a great time there and have a wonderful day, everybody.